Hi, BookTube, welcome to Jackie's Literary Corner. I am Jackie, and I thought I would do a tag for you. And this is the Universes Collide tag. I don't know who created it at the moment, but I'll look them up and put in the description box if I can find it. Or at least I'll put the video that I watched where I got this tag. It is very hard to find unique tags, and I also don't remember which ones I've done so far, so I'm trying not to. I don't want to do the exact tags I've already done unless they're a tag where my answers can vary over time. So I found but I did find the Universes Collide tag, which I had a little trouble with this one, but I was able to come up. I did really think all my answers. And I hope they're good. Okay, so you know how this works. Get a series of questions. It's only 6 questions technically, but the 6th question is tag people, and I don't usually do the tag thing. But you know, if you like this tag, then consider yourself tagged. Okay, so question number 1. Switch up. Choose 2 different protagonists from 2 different series that you love to see swap. And this is one of the ones I had a hard time with, but I chose Harry Potter, which I know because of J.K. Rowling, we try not to talk about Harry Potter, but it's the first thing I thought about, my best answer. Harry Potter, Harry, and Fitz Chivalry from the Farseer trilogy, although he isn't just in that one trilogy. And I think I would like to see Fitz in the world at Hogwarts where his magic is accepted and not judged and not considered blasphemous or evil or something's wrong with you. Like his form of magic would not be seen as bad. Of course, he couldn't do the skill part because that's only for Farseers. And you only connect to other Farseer, and at least he could learn magic instead of focus on adapting his magic rather than the responsibilities of being the king's assassin and everything and his spy and all that. He could just work on learning his magic, and he could actually have a pretty nice life because she left. And also, Hogwarts is more modern, so he could have the nice amenities, a nice comfortable bed, and all the hygiene products, and he would have a pretty comfortable life. Well, Harry, his life wouldn't be as comfortable, but I think he could handle himself better because I think he has more magic than Fitz does, and I think he would handle a situation better. The situation there better. Although I don't know how good he would be at being a spy. He probably would not be that good at that. But and his life would end up sucking. But he's used to it, just like Fitz is. And I just want to see my precious baby Fitz have a better life, in all honesty. Okay, so question number 2. V is for villainy. Choose a villain you would like to see get their own story. And it's funny because she mentioned the video that I watched. I don't remember the channel name. I'll look for it though. She talked about this trilogy, and I remembered how after I finished and I read the last book, I was thinking how they're the 2 antagonist characters, although in the last book that character no longer becomes an antagonist. I think he becomes a protagonist, but he still started out as a villain. And that's the Caraval series, which, like, so she talked about it and was admitted that she didn't love it, but she used it for an answer to another question on here. Question number 5. She used Caraval for that one. But I am on question number 2. And the villain, I feel like Legend started out as a villain, but then he kind of has a transformation and kind of, which I guess this is spoiling a little bit, that he changes and becomes an ally to the main characters. So yeah, I would love the backstory of Legend and how he became Legend. Like, they talk about it in the story, in the trilogy, but I want to see the actual story play out in another novel. I want Stephanie Garber to write that story. And then we also get the Fates in this, and they're kind of more of the main antagonist. by the second, going into the third book. And they are so creepy and disturbing, and such creative villains that I would love to see their backstory and how they became the way. I mean, they do tell you, but I want, like, Stephanie Garber does tell you and explain their story, but I want an actual book that plays it out, that I'm not just told, but I see it. So for both those characters, I want the background, I want the story, and not just being told the story, but actually seeing it play out. I think it'd be really interesting. Especially the main antagonist, Jax. Just, I want to see how he became the way he was. Like, I want to actually see it play out, even though Garber does explain it in her books, in the trilogy. Okay, and then next is question number 3, adaptation. Choose a character or a story that exists in another type of media that you'd like to see novelized. And I chose a story, and that is, I thought, one of my favorite Stephen King movies, ones that he produced and wrote the screenplay for and all that, is Rose Red. And now he does have, Ridley Pearson did write The Diary of Ellen Rimbauer, which is the diary of the main ghost in Rose Red. It's a haunted house story, in case you don't know. And I want to see the actual novel. Now, like the person who I watched their video where they did this tag, they also said they don't really like the idea of, they are not into the idea of reading the book that's based on a movie or a show. I'm a little wary, and like them, I'm wary of that. Like, I read the Charmed books, and I just, thinking back on them, it was like, it was just like basically reading reading the script of the show, just with more details. It wasn't the same, because it's just reading the show. It's like you're reading a script of the show. That's why there's a Doctor Who book that I got from the guy who owns the Black Castle bookshop. I got he saw that I was a Doctor Who fan, so he gave me a Doctor Who book. Granted, this one was not turned into an episode. It was, so I'm a little reluctant. I don't know if I would like it or not, but anyway. But for the sake of answering this question, I think of Rose, I would love to see a novelization of Rose Red, an actual novel of that plot, not just the Diary of Ellen Rimbauer, which I read years ago. I don't know how I feel about it. But I don't know if the library would have it, because it's not a Stephen King book, so I don't know if the library would actually have it. But I think it would be, really interesting, especially because he's so good at creating characters, and it'd be so interesting to get the story of all these different characters, get more details about their lives and stuff, and their thought processes and stuff, which the actors were great, but it would also be kind of cool to get it on paper, and to get the actual details of the ghosts that live in that house and stuff like that. Like, actually read it in a book. But like I said, I'm a little hesitant. So I'm perfectly happy with the movie. I love the movie. But to answer this question, that's one of the ones that I have thought about, the idea of maybe if he could turn it into an actual novel instead of just the Diary of Ellen Rimbauer. So yeah, that's my answer. Okay, so crossover. I just literally today came up with my answer for this one. Choose 2 characters from 2 universes that you love to see cross over. And originally I said Pug from Rift War Saga and Fitz, but I was like, I don't want to do Farseer again, so I went with Sophie from Keeper of the Lost Cities, because not the School for Good and Evil, but Keeper of the Lost Cities, even though I got tired of that book and DNF'd it. And Morgan Crow from the Nevermore series. I think they'd be really interesting. First of all, they're the same age. They both kind of have powers that they don't understand, that they're learning how to use them. And I think it'd be kind of interesting to see them interact. And I think Morgan would have fun in Sophie's world, and Sophie would have fun in Morgan's world. And they could teach each other things, and I think they can really sympathize with each other and connect with each other and just, help each other out a little bit. I think they would be good friends. I think they would have a full friendship. And maybe Morgan could help Sophie stop being a whiny little girl, like, or toughen up a little bit. So yeah, Sophie from Keeper of the Lost Cities, and Morgan Crow. I think they would be a good combo. Okay, the next question. This is the question. Like I said, this was the question where the video I watched, she used Caraval for this one. My answer. This is the tonal shift. Choose a story that you would like to give a different tone or genre to. And I said The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. I think, like her, what she said about Caraval, which, by the way, I actually agree with her on that. I think I would love to see a darker tone with the Caraval trilogy, a more mature, more adult tone, because it's a YA. And it's a similar reason to The Lunar Chronicles, I love a darker tone, And also love to dive more deep into the politics of the world. Because, I know it's based on a fairy tale, so I love the happy ending, but at the same time, I'm kind of interested to see a not so clean-cut happy ending on that series. But I imagine Stephenie Meyer was like, or not Meyer, Marissa Meyer. Marissa Meyer, I imagine that she, was like, it's based on fairy tale, so it's my excuse to make it a happy, cheesy YA ending, and, which I get that, but I kind of want a darker story. I would love to have a darker story and not every character make it out. Like, have one of the characters sacrifice themselves. Which, I gotta admit, at the same time, like I said, I like seeing all my couples together and stuff and everything, but, at the same, I have very mixed feelings about it. But I think it would, either way, I would still find it very interesting if it had a darker tone and more mature tone. And less of a fairy tale-esque ending, less clean cut. It still kind of had a cliffhanger ending because you didn't know what Cinder was going to do next and how she was going to handle her current situation. But it still felt very clean and like no one died. None of the main characters died except for the bad guys. And I know that's a common criticism that series gets. But I personally still loved it and had fun with it, but I think it would benefit from a darker, edgier tone. So yeah, so like I said, the last question number 6 is tag people, so feel free to consider yourself tagged if you want to do this tag. It is kind of fun to think about, even though it is a short tag, so, if you don't spend too much time with your answers like I do, then maybe you could get through this tag really quickly and have fun with it. So if you guys like this video, be sure to give a thumbs up, click subscribe if you haven't already, click the bell notification if you want to be notified when I post new videos. And like I said, I will either post the original creator of this tag, or I will find the video that I watched of this tag and post that. And I will also post the questions as well. So, and so I will talk to you guys later. Alright, bye!